On a routine flight from Singapore to Perth, the primary flight computers of Qantas Flight 72 began to malfunction, causing the aircraft to unexpectedly pitch downward towards the Indian Ocean. With more than 300 passengers on board, the aircraft abruptly found itself in a deadly nosedive. Violent negative G-forces sent anything and anyone not secured crashing toward the cabin ceiling, resulting in more than 100 injuries, including spinal injuries and broken bones. This is a harrowing story where Captain Sullivan, relying on his elite military training, attempts to regain control of the aircraft. Will his efforts succeed, or will the flight tragically end in the Indian Ocean? This is the story of Qantas Flight 72. On October 7, 2008, 303 passengers and 12 crew members boarded Qantas Flight 72 at Singapore's Changi Airport. The aircraft for this flight was an Airbus A330, delivered new to Qantas on November 26, 2003. This large-capacity, wide-body, twin-engine aircraft is designed for medium to long-haul flights. In November 2004, it underwent an engine upgrade. This aircraft had a total of 20,000 operational hours. Flight 72 was scheduled to travel from Singapore to Perth, Australia, passing over the Indian Ocean. Typically, a direct flight from Singapore to Perth takes about 5 hours. At 1:25 a.m., the aircraft was pushed back from the gate. The pilots started the engines and began their taxi towards the runway, which they reached minutes later. In the aircraft's cockpit, the crew consisted of 3 pilots. Leading the crew was Captain Kevin Sullivan, 53 years old, a former U.S. Navy Top Gun pilot, known informally within Qantas as the shit magnet, due to his lack for encountering bad luck, including a previous engine blow-up. Captain Sullivan, with more than 13,000 flight hours, was joined by First Officer Peter Lipset, a former Royal Australian Navy helicopter pilot who had logged nearly 12,000 flight hours. Also in the cockpit was Second Officer Hales, who provided additional support for the long journey to Perth and back with 2,070 flying hours. After receiving clearance for takeoff, the captain pushed the thrust levers to takeoff thrust, initiating the takeoff roll. Just minutes after takeoff, the master caution alarm sounded. The first officer looked at the captain and started joking. "Here we go. Here it starts. I'm not sure if I should be flying with you, Kev, with your reputation." In response, Captain Sullivan turned on the autopilot, as he had B,